Hey, it's another week, another recipe, and we are beating the heat this week with a no-bake lemonade magic pie, courtesy of the 1960s and Cool Whip. It was so nice to not have to turn on my oven for this. Come join me. Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. My name's Courtney Morris, and I cook history's forgotten recipes out of random cookbooks I find and sometimes websites. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new, I appreciate you coming by, and I hope you click the little subscribe button and join our community. And if you're coming back for more, thank you so much. Let's get started. All right, so today's recipe hails, I think, from about 1960-ish, only because Cool Whip is involved, and that's about the time frame that this stuff started to exist. I found this recipe for lemonade magic pie in my husband's great aunt Vera's recipe box that I think I've shown a few times in a few videos. And she just collected recipes from like the 1920s on. This is not a family recipe. You can Google lemonade magic pie and you can bring up Pinterest results. So there's nothing entirely special about it, but the reason I picked it is because it is hot. We're in the Pacific Northwest where it rains for, 17 months out of the year. But then we get August and it's hot and humid and sucky. I want something cold and sweet and easy. And also every second Sunday at church, we have what's called a linger longer, where everybody just kind of brings a dish to share and we eat after church. And I figure I want to start bringing some stuff to it to contribute. And if this is easy enough, I mean, why not? Okay, so for as easy as this sound, it makes up in difficulty. I shouldn't say difficulty, but it's going to take a while to set because you are adding liquid and you have to cool it and chill it for about 12 hours. I might be able to speed it up in the freezer. I don't know. Okay, so I need a 15-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. If you don't have this stuff, it is super easy to make. Maybe I'll do a video on it at one point, but it is so simple to make this stuff by yourself. Okay, so I'm supposed to blend this sweetened condensed milk with 6 ounces of frozen lemonade, and I have yet to find a 6-ounce one. I have a 12-ounce, which I'm just going to use half, and I guess we'll just drink the rest. Okay, also while I am weighing this out to 6 ounces, I want to give a shout out to Stacy Thompson, one of my awesome viewers who gave me the best tip to keep this stupid thing in one place. She said to put a dish towel, a wet one, underneath it, and it won't move, and look. I mean, I have to scooch it for it to move. If you saw my last video, I about chucked it out my balcony window. It was pissing me off so bad that I had to move it out of the way, but I couldn't chuck it too far because it's my only cutting board right now. So, Stacy, thank you for that tip. If anybody else has a stupid cutting board like I do and needs a new one, until then, put a dish rag under it. It worked a charm. So, thank you for that. Okay. So now we're going to mix this with 6 ounces of lemonade concentrate. And then it says to stir until well blended. Now I realize that if this is indeed a 1960s recipe, there would have been electric mixers around. I don't have a hand one, and that thing's kind of cumbersome to just bring over for a small amount. So I'm just gonna whisk it. It's not a difficult thing to mix, although the smells a little interesting. It's almost like almost kind of smells like cheese, but we just did put lemon with milk. So it might be that curdled smell, or it just might be my sniffer. I don't know. Okay, and now I need 9-ounce Cool Whip. Now I have never been a great fan of Cool Whip, mainly because it's milk and vegetable oil. So, and I, yes, am kind of a snob when it comes to it. However, for the sake of these old recipes, oh, it's a little frozen in there. Whoops. For the sake of these old recipes, I don't care. I'm just gonna roll with it and it's good, but it's not something I think I've ever really put in my day-to-day cooking, unless it's a specific recipe, and this turns out so fantastically amazing that I might try again, but I probably would use whipped cream, maybe. But for those of you who are lactose intolerant, all right, and it just says to mush this around until well blended. And it looks like vanilla pudding. It does. And I meant to take my Cool Whip out of the freezer earlier because I got some chunks I've got to work through, but they're melting quick enough. I realized I said the word curdled earlier. Don't freak out. It's not curdled. It's just more my sniffer, I think. And so it smells more like powdered milk right now than it does anything else. So I'm kind of hoping the lemon flavor is a little more pronounced than it smells. Okay, So this is now well blended, except for that part, never mind. Well blended. All right, and so now I need to put it into a pie crust. It says pile lightly and then chill. And the original recipe, also, if you end up seeing them on notepads, it's because I am a messy cook and I don't want to damage the individual cards that they were originally on if I have them. So that's why. All right, anyways, the original recipe says a crumb crust, like a graham cracker crumb crust. I don't have any graham crackers, but I do have pie crust from a pie I made yesterday. So I have some left over and I'm just gonna do that. It'll work, it's a pie. And while I do agree that crumb crusts do taste better on some things, you know what, who doesn't love a good pie crust? All right, it is done, and I was able to speed up that 12-hour setting process by putting it in my freezer. So if I were to wait the 12 hours, I would be in bed by now. So little hint if you do this. Now, it didn't say to do this, but I zested some lemon rind on top, which smells so uplifting and summery and good. Plus it makes it a little more pretty, I think. It looked like it needed a garnish of some sort, but whatever. So, all right, let's see if this is worth taking to a potluck. So it is definitely a custard pie. I hope this is good. It should be. I mean, by all accounts, I mean, there's nothing in here that isn't bad. Held up nicely. It looks pretty good to me. I'm gonna stick this back in the fridge just so it doesn't melt. It's kind of hot. Okay, hopefully this is good. Oh wow. Who knew? That's great. That's actually really good. Now, it's not lemon meringue pie good or lemon bar good, but for I almost want to say this is like a mock custard, because it's like a half custard, half vanilla pudding consistency. It's very smooth. Like you don't chew this, you just kind of mush it around in your mouth and swallow it. And my fears have been allayed. As I was mixing it, I mentioned it smelled kind of like cheesy, and maybe that room temperature thing just made it smell funny, but that's delicious. Especially that grated lemon rind on there, the zest, kind of gives it a little just like pop explosion of lemon. This is a fantastic no-bake pie, and it tastes fantastic. This is definitely something that I can take to my church potluck. I think that is hands down easy, although I think I would put it in one of those cute little trifle cups with maybe some like graham cracker sticks to like dip or something, and maybe some blueberry syrup on top, and just make them little trifle pudding cups that you use a spoon with. But my gosh, how easy is this? And it's no bake. All right, well, if you have made it this far, you're gonna see me probably eat the rest of this. Well, I'm not really kidding, but if you made it this far, thank you so much for joining me. As always, I appreciate your support. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button, join our community. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a little like. I know it does something with the algorithm that broadcasts it to more people, and I'd love to build the community even larger. It's so much fun speaking with you guys and putting out things that I hope you enjoy. I'm having a lot of fun with most of them. Some of them are kind of gross, but I enjoy it either way. Don't forget to hit the little bell notification if you haven't already. That will tell you every time I upload, which is every Monday, with a new historical experiment. And if you want something else divine to watch, click on this one. You won't go wrong with it. It's so good. All right. I will see you next week with a new historical experiment and recipe. And oh man, I hope we have something just as good as this. All right. See you later.